Hey there, everyone. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and, well, Santa brought you everything you wanted. I just want to let you know I left Thursday last week to go out of town, which is why I didn't have a video for Friday. Guess I should have let you know earlier. But we're going to pick back up today with the weird things I've seen on the road. We're on part 7 now. And, well, if you haven't listened to any of the others, go back. You'll find the links down there in the description. All that being said, let's begin. I have never met a Chihuahua I liked, aside from the one that used to be the mascot for Taco Bell. Other than that one, all the ones I have ever seen or come into contact with have been little overly hyper furry balls of barking annoyance. Whenever someone with one happened into our town, they'd always want to start shit with me. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 6'4" and do absolutely nothing to appear as a threat to them. Why they think picking on people much larger than them is a good idea, I'll probably never know. Maybe it's a territorial thing? I don't know. Well, what I do know is that the trailer park incident has only further solidified my hatred for that breed. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Carl hissed at Zippy. She wouldn't stop. Her shrill barks echoed throughout the park. Carl tried getting her to calm down by offering her a squeaky toy. Instead of biting it, she bit him. Bitch, he cried out through gritted teeth while clutching his bloody hand. She kept on barking, drawing the attention of the beast as indicated by the fact its steps were now far more audible to us. Carl finally managed to shut Zippy up by snagging her, then stuffing a squeaky pretzel into her mouth. The monster drew closer until its hooved legs became visible to us. Not only were they incredibly thick, its arms were also unnaturally long and ended in claws similar to the ones that sloths have. Coarse dark fur covered it, and it gave off a foul, ashy stench. Please go away, I thought. I glanced over at Carl and Nick. The former seemed to be attempting to get something out of his pocket. Guys, he whispered, holding something up. What he held made my eyes go wide. Is that a flashbang? Nick asked in a low yet bewildered tone. Carl nodded. I've been saving it for an emergency, and I think now might be the time to use it. Maybe not. Look, it's gone, I said, pointing. In retrospect, that and the dead silence afterward should have been a dead giveaway to us for what happened next. As I got ready to let out a sigh of relief, I felt it grasp the ankle of my good leg. Oh shit, I yelled, getting dragged across the ground. The creature yanked me out from underneath the trailer, holding me upside down. Its smell was now practically suffocating to me. The best way I could describe how it looked is being a somehow bipedal cross between a boar and a wolf. It had the eyes and teeth of a wolf, but also had the snout and tusk that boars possess. Hang on, Pete, Carl yelled out as it raised one of its claws. I braced myself for the strike when I heard several gunshots, followed by it roaring in pain, causing it to drop me. It was only after landing on my back with a hard thud did I notice how tall it really was. It had to be at least 10 feet tall. With the wind knocked out of me, there wasn't much I could do other than listen to it go after Carl. Thankfully, it didn't take long for me to recover and pull myself up. The creature was still chasing Carl, and I didn't see Nick anywhere. Carl and it made their way around the park and back towards my direction. I didn't know how I could help until my eyes fell on the crutches that I left by the trailer. Using one, I kicked it in front of him. Seeing this, Carl jumped over it. The beast wasn't so fortunate. It let out a surprised roar, tripping over the crutch and landing on the ground with a hard thud. Carl seized this opportunity. "Hi, Pete," he shouted, pulling the pin on his flashbang and then tossing it under the monster. We dove back under the trailer as the flashbang went off, filling the air with a blinding light. Carl's theory about it being weak to light turned out to be true. It gave off a much louder pained roar this time. Blindly stumbling around, once again Carl seized this opportunity. Crawling out from underneath the trailer, he fired some shots at its legs. With it weakened, the bullets pierced through their target, making it collapse to the ground. Carl then finished the beast off by putting one between its eyes. As it let out its last dying gasp, Nick, holding Zippy's carrying cage, came running with her in front of him. She leapt on to the now dead beast, barking furiously at him. "Did you actually manage to kill it?" Nick asked, noticing the now dead monster. "Yeah," Carl replied, breathing heavily. At that point, Zippy had become silent, and she became that way the instant she leapt onto the creature. Once again, we should have recognized that as a bad omen. At that moment, however, we were just glad that it wouldn't be bothering us anymore. We weren't the only ones either. The residents came out of their trailers. "I can't believe it," the man said. "You really killed it." Everyone stared in stunned silence for a moment. "What happens now?" I asked. Almost as though it were in response to my question, a light appeared at the entrance to the trailer park. "We're finally going home," the man smiled. The light swept over everything in a brilliant flash. When it cleared, we found ourselves still in the trailer park. Only now it was day instead of night. Everyone cried and laughed. Nick grabbed Zippy, putting her in the cage. The creature's body, under the light of the sun, started dissolving. "We can finally get on with our lives. We can..." Suddenly the man doubled over, clutching his stomach in pain, and so did the other tenants. "What's wrong?" Carl asked them, growing concerned. They were in so much pain, none of them could reply. All they could do was stare at us with pleading eyes. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything we could have done for them. Right in front of us, each and every resident started rapidly losing weight. Within seconds, they became emaciated before breaking down, turning into dust, escaping from an over 2-decade-long hell just to suffer that fate. I already knew fairness and life weren't exactly the best of friends. However, that was a truly fucked up sight to behold. "Why?" I asked in shock. "Why did that happen?" "I don't know," Carl replied. "It was like they starved to death. The place kept them alive no matter what. That means they probably never felt hungry, but clearly that changed when they got back here. Well, there's nothing we can do for them now. Let's just get our money and try to forget all about this." As we began walking towards the park's exit, a deep growling noise grew noticeable to us that was coming from the cage. "Guys," Nick yelled, staring into it. Doing the same thing showed us Zippy, whose eyes were now a sickly yellow. Her teeth were considerably larger, seeming almost too big for her mouth. Her limbs were now much longer, almost noodle-like, yet somehow able to support her. She grinned at us.